Hey, folks, and welcome to another episode of 8 News Real Talk. I'm your host, Tannock Blair, and with me, as always, my co-host, Julia Broberg.
Hello.
Hey, Julia.
Hi, Tannock.
We got some doozies for you today.
Couple of doozies. I don't know if that's the word I would use.
I don't know
to
if...
describe these psychological thrillers. We got a couple of wacky films for you.
I don't know if I'm going to, recommend these movies to anyone or not. They're two kind of tough watches in their own respective ways.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Bruce Springsteen biopic.
Well, we have to talk about that. So I owe a public apology.
No, you owe an apology to one person.
Well, I mean, I'm making my apology publicly.
You have a notes app, apology that you hold up to the camera.
I would like to apologize to Julia. I had said we were going to review Bugonia and Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere this week, and she was not looking forward to seeing the Springsteen biopic, but I insisted that we review it.
He insisted. He was like, I know you don't want to see, we should probably do it.
Because I figured it's the biggest release of the week, we'll open with this, and then we'll talk about our little indie darling, Bugonia.
And in response, I, in good faith, took 2 hours of my life to go see Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere, where Jeremy Allen White puts in brown contacts and goes for 2 hours. And then I get to work on, what was it, Tuesday?
This morning, it was when you found out that I did not manage to see it. I was planning to see it yesterday morning before coming into work for election stuff. And
there were no morning show times.
Yeah, I probably should have checked that beforehand. But here we are. I did not get to see the Springsteen film. Do you want to give your thoughts on it?
Oh my God, I would love to.
Would you recommend I go see it still?
Yes, I would. Actually, I loved this movie, and I think you would love it too, so you should go see it. No, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Biopics are we're doing them so often, and I don't think we need to be doing them. Bob Dylan's still around, even though it was good. I liked that one.
This does feel like part two of...
If you've seen one biopic of an old male rock star that went through some stuff.
Yeah.
You've seen it, and it's like he's fighting the battle against time, but also himself.
Yeah.
And you're like, we get it, he has depression. I will say it focused on the music a lot, which I liked. It did make me want to listen to Nebraska, which is a good thing. Everybody should go listen to Nebraska because it's a fantastic album. And it was good. Jeremy Strong was good. Jeremy Allen White is good at having capital T, capital S, that sadness in him. Trademark that sadness. He did it. He's done it in all roles.
Yeah, the
Shameless, the Bear.
Yep.
This Iron Claw. He's good at being sad.
Okay.
And so he's got that darkness in him.
Okay.
And yeah, so I would say...
Were you super familiar with Springsteen's career or life? Yeah, I'm not really familiar.
I mean, I know. I think it's a general thing. You know of Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
You know the main...
know most of the big hits and
but
things.
what you guys don't know is
Darkness on the Edge of Town. I have that record on vinyl.
Hell yeah. Heck yeah.
We're going to bleep that out.
But bleep out the heck.
Yeah.
What you don't know about Bruce Springsteen is that he had depression.
Okay.
And they go into that quite a bit.
Okay.
Which is good.
All right.
Maybe it'll help people out there that are struggling.
Does it do the same thing as the Timothy Chalamet Bob Dylan biopic, where it just picks a segment of his career,
Yes.
like an era sort of thing to focus on?
It picks the era that he wrote Nebraska.
Okay.
It picks that, and it talks about his relationship with his father and his parents and stuff like that.
Got it.
Stephen Graham, always so good. I felt like he was underutilized.
Okay.
Anyway.
What would you rate it?
A 3.
Okay.
A good 3-star, I think.
Nice.
What I would. But yeah, I would say go see it. You definitely should see it, Tannock. I think you would love it.
I will. I will see it at some point.
I will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he came down the street. He went, so about
Sorry.
Springsteen. I was like, don't even do this.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Womp womp. Okay. Anyway.
Okay. Well, let's jump in earnest to our first film,
Yes.
Bugonia, the new film from Yorgos Lanthimos, sort of the the reigning king of absurdist black comedy movies. Last year, he put out Poor Things and Kinds of Kindness in the same year. Or maybe Poor Things was right at the end of 2024. It's all blurring.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But he's been on a tear recently. I think he's made a bit of a change in trajectory as a filmmaker compared to his earlier films, which were much more dry and certainly lower budget. He's definitely going into more genre stuff now, I think, with things like The Favorite, which was sort of like a period piece, and Poor Things, which is sort of like a science fiction film, and we have a bit more of that here. This is an interesting film, I think, in that for a good chunk of its runtime, it feels like it's a return to his earlier dry, like sort of based in realism sort of films.
Yeah.
And then when he decides to pull the trigger and have things go crazy, it all kicks in.
Yeah.
Without spoiling too much, because we are
In pre-spoiler
pre-spoilers.
talk,
Yeah.
we wouldn't want to break the.
But this is also, I didn't realize this until after watching it. This is also a remake of a South Korean film called Save the Green Planet, which I have not seen. But what I've heard of it is that it is much more maximalist
Okay.
in the style that a lot of Korean films are. So yeah, really interesting. That was from like 2003. So this is, he's changed a lot to sort of make this film fit the current climate and the current moment. I sort of think of other films like Eddington and
I saw a lot of comparisons to Eddington.
yeah, what was the film we reviewed last week? After the Hunt.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago. Yeah, it feels like there are a lot of films that are coming out this year that are specifically being made about the political climate that we're in.
Yeah.
And this definitely touches on that. But with all of that, that long spiel and preamble, what did you think of Bugonia?
I liked it. I'm a Yorgos Lanthimos fan, have been from the first movie that I saw of his, which I think was Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Nice.
Or The Lobster.
That's the only one I haven't seen of his, actually. Is Killing of a
Really?
Sacred Deer. I've been saving it.
Saving it up for a special occasion.
Yeah.
I think I would give it a 4-star. I don't know why I'm saying the star rating. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I like Emma Stone. I think she's I think they work well together.
Great.
And Jesse Plemons fits into this world very well because they're very good at being off-putting, off-kilter characters just in general. I liked the guy who played Don.
Yeah.
A lot of strong performances in this. And I like that Yorgos isn't scared to do, again, not without spoiling too much, but you have a version in your head where you're like, it would be so fun if he did this as the ending, and then he does. And you're like, of course. Yeah, there's no way he couldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed what it has to say about, I think, what certain aspects of our mass media culture are exploiting about vulnerable people. And yeah, I enjoyed it. And it's just funky, weird fun.
Agreed.
And Stavros. Stavros was in it playing type.
Podcaster, stand-up comedian, Stavros. What is his last name?
That's not important.
Okay. We
Stabby.
can't even say the name of his podcast on this show.
Stabby. He's playing a creepy cop, incompetent cop, and you're like, that's right where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's a bit of offbeat casting, but it works. It's funny seeing him on the big screen, and it's distracting, but also kind of in a fun way.
What did you think?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm going to say 4 stars. I had a great time with this. I'm seeing a lot of people complain about the themes and the messaging being too shallow or not deep enough, but I didn't really take this as, it's similar to what I discussed when we did our One Battle After Another review, which is, this is not Eddington. This is not a film that set out with political aspirations in my mind. This is a film that is about some crazy stuff happening, and there's political set dressing on it.
Yeah. It just happens to apply to what?
Yeah, exactly. So I think maybe people are judging it on a different metric to what I am, but just in terms of filmmaking, like Lanthimos, I don't know how he makes the camera look as good as it does. Like
Agreed.
I'm astounded. Every shot looks like it's completely natural lighting, but it's just gorgeous, meticulous. He makes it look so effortless. I can't even We need to get into spoiler talk to discuss it.
And the score was so good.
But yeah, I'm right there with you with 4 stars. This is a great movie.
The
So
score was, I mean, as it always is, very jarring and very fitting to how you're feeling watching all of this unfold.
yeah.
Don't even do it. I know what you're about to do. Don't even.
Do you want to ask me?
Tannock, what's this movie about?
Okay.
Tannock, what is this movie about?
So the film is about a couple of sort of mentally disturbed, or especially Jesse Plemons' character, but he has a friend or a cousin that is sort of his accomplice. They are two sort of mentally unstable individuals who become convinced that there is an alien conspiracy, literal alien invaders currently going on, and one of these people that they've identified as an alien as part of this conspiracy is Emma Stone's character, who is a wealthy CEO of a big pharmaceutical company. And they decide to kidnap her, and their plan is to get her to bring them to her mothership so that they can negotiate terms
To withdraw from the planet.
And to save humanity.
Naturally.
Right.
Right. Of course.
And so much of the film is playing with the expectations of these clearly delusional, dangerous people, and what this sort of powder keg situation of how Emma Stone is going to escape or convince them or try to appeal to their deeper humanity or their rationality to try and make them realize that, their conspiracy that they believe in is not true.
See, you're just so good at that. You're so good at describing what the movies are about. So
I'm trying.
You're doing a great job. And as you get deeper into the movie and deeper into the conspiracy, you realize that there are some things that are off about her. Mm-hmm. You realize that there's just some other random one-off. Like the stuff with Stavros is insane in its own way. Yeah. There's stuff with Teddy, the main characters, Teddy and Don, Teddy's mom, and yeah.
Yeah, we sort of that's a good point to bring up actually while we're describing the plot. We sort of discover as things go on that Jesse Plemons' motivation might not solely be, his belief in this conspiracy rabbit hole that he's fallen into online and things, but also his mother was directly affected, placed into some sort of coma based on some sort of pharmaceutical product that she used from the company.
Am I wrong? Was she having like addiction issues, and then they marketed a drug to help with addiction, right. And then that okay?
Yep, that's exactly right.
But yeah, I think, of course, this was terrible. But the first thing I wrote down in my notes after the movie ended, like while the credits were rolling, was like, sometimes I do feel the urge to just fall headfirst into a huge conspiracy and see what it'll do to me and see what it'll do to the people around me that love and care about me. Like, what would you guys do if I came in one day and was like, the glorps are here, they're gonna take over? Like, I do think you guys would all be like, okay, are you okay? Like, what else is happening?
Yeah, we'd definitely be editing your web stories with a much keener eye to make sure none of that was getting in.
You'd be like, as long as it's not affecting your work, you can believe a glorp all you want. Just write that web article. I like that was your first. I'd definitely be editing your web articles a little more closely. That's... You'd be like, oh, she can believe whatever she wants, as long as it doesn't go in the article.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it would be freeing. But on the other side of it, obviously.
No, I think you're exactly right. That's what this film does such a great job of is, it approaches it all from a very empathetic place, or at least in the Lanthimos style, it's equally cold to everyone. But yeah, I think it's respectful. It doesn't portray Jesse Plemons' character as simply an idiot or something. He is actually very well spoken, and he's like well researched. And at one point, he talks about how he's sort of speed ran his way through a bunch of different movements, like starting with alt-right and then going like to the far left and becoming a Marxist and all these other things. And none of these political factions have done anything for him in the way that his grand conspiracy seems to fit his worldview and bring him comfort.
And even if you're starting to have those feelings in this because you don't immediately want to sympathize with this CEO of this company that could potentially be doing some questionable medical
Yes,
tests on
yep.
the general public. But you do obviously start to feel sorry for her. But then there's that moment where he's realized that maybe she's a higher being than he thought she was. Maybe she's the emperor of this colony. And then they have words and he tackles her. And you see that moment of her where she's like, I'm a winner and you're a loser.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah, once we get back to this, they're both bad people in their own way.
Yeah. We see that we get a hint of that even earlier when before she gets kidnapped, she goes to work and she's recording a diversity, like a DEI video or something for her company.
I'm saying diversity too much. Diversity.
Yeah, and the way she sort of talks to her other employees and stuff gives you a hint at, the type of ruthless business person she is.
Want to leave at 5:30? Go ahead. But if you have work to do, stay to do it. That's Tannock. If anybody sees that, that's Tannock as the manager of digital.
Yeah,
guys, if you want to, feel free to leave at 5:30. But if you have work to do, please stay. Please stay and do it.
Yeah, that was like the key moment, I think, where you can tell exactly who this person is. Yeah.
And another thing, which I think I'll just be repeating myself from what I said with Eddington stuff, but it does a great job of showcasing, like you're saying, through the empathetic standpoint, that a lot of these conspiracy groups are preying on people that are going through vulnerable times of grief. You see it a lot with, I feel like, the flat earth community, where you'll be talking to people that believe in flat earth stuff, and it's like, when did you first discover that? It's like, oh, back when my husband died, or back when I got diagnosed with cancer, I found this group. And it's like, I think a lot of people are just looking for community and looking for a support system. And
there's a great detail with this film too, when it follows day by day, and it does a title card at the beginning of every day, and a wide shot of the earth, and it is flat. It keeps going back to that.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that. And it's interesting. I wouldn't use the word prey, even though, yes, people are victims to these conspiracies. But I think that it's not always. Sometimes I'm sure it is, but it's not always a bad actor that is perpetrating false information to people and trying to brainwash them or anything. It's usually a group of people who are all similarly inclined to believe certain things. In this case, Jesse Plemons has to make sense of what's happened to his mother, and
it sounds like she was putting stuff into his head. Before she
and
went
what's
into coma.
happened to his bee colonies and things. And there is a very tidy conspiracy theory that ties together the death of the bee colonies and his mother's condition and what happened to her. And so naturally it's a confirmation bias sort of thing for him. And oftentimes when people go into these online spaces and share these in an echo chamber of some description.
But that's what I also liked about Jesse Plemons breaking down, because she would try to fight back with all of her buzzwords that she's learned in her CEO corporate speak.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, dialogue, you want to have a dialogue, you want to have, echo chamber, you're using all these words that people try to make me seem like I'm, don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm
and he's well prepared against it. He, he's considered all of that, or at least he's considered it enough to have, responses or enough to insulate himself from having to actually reckon with the rationality of it. It's really, really good stuff, I think.
I was talking to a coworker of ours that saw it with their partner, and their partner, there's the scene where Emma Stone first wakes up when she's in the basement, and they're explaining, and she immediately goes and is like, what did you do to my hair? And our coworker's partner was like, okay, so she's an alien, because why would that be your first... why are you you're not covered in blah? You're not why would your first thing be why did you take my hair away?
Interesting.
And I was like, I didn't catch that. But she's right. Why would that be your first?
Yeah.
Because it turns out that.
Right. Yes.
It does. Spoilers. She is an alien.
The big reveal, of course, is, and this feels obvious, but it's also it's a Chekhov's gun sort of thing. You've set it up, you have to pay it off in this way. This film could not be paid off in any other way other than the big reveal in the last 15, 20 minutes of the film, where yes, she is an alien. Jesse Plemons was spot on with everything.
The make of the ship, what the ship looked like.
Yep.
We couldn't communicate to you because they took your hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
It turns out that their hair is like a GPS locator.
Yeah, and I think it's a great punchline. I think it works for me. I've seen people complain that it's so obvious, but
It's fun.
like movies don't have to always be twist or always surprise you to be satisfying, you know? Like storytelling structure is the way it is because it works. And in this case, I think it definitely does. It got many laughs out of me, especially when we get to travel to the spaceship and see what the aliens are like and how they talk and what they wear. And Yorgos gets to get
fun.
really weird with the production design and stuff. It's a really great.
As soon as she started
twist.
running out of the ambulance, I was like, yay, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
I also thought it was interesting to go back to Stavros. I forget what his character's name is, but he's a cop.
Yeah.
And there's a moment, because he's bothering...
Casey.
Thank you. He's kind of constantly bothering Teddy throughout the whole movie, and you need that in to be like a cop poking around. But it's this interesting thing, he used to babysit him, and there's this little conversation thing where he's like, I'm sorry about what I did to you. They don't go into specifics, but they're like, he's like, I never did that with anybody else. Like, I'm sorry, it was weird. I was weird back then. And it's this, she's sitting in the basement. You can tell that Teddy's just trying to get him to leave. But I don't know, I thought it was an interesting thing where he has put all his energy into this alien conspiracy because of his mom and this trauma, great trauma of his life. And this one's just kind of glossed over, where this is a very actionable, this is a real world person that he could take legal action against and be like, this guy did something to me when I was a kid. And he could play out that, you know, to a conclusion, but instead he puts all this energy into this conspiracy alien. I just thought that was really interesting that they just threw that in there as like, oh, yep, he got like maybe touched as a kid and then, oh.
Yeah, it recontextualizes the relationship between them quite a bit, because at the first point when we hear that he was a babysitter or whatever, we just assume like, oh, he's just a concerned, you know.
Just want to make sure you're doing okay.
Not a friend, but an acquaintance or whatever. But yeah, it adds a new dimension to his interest in Jesse Plemons' character, in that like possible guilt or possible, or as you said, even possible like this. He's scared of what Jesse Plemons could tell anyone about him. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Yeah.
And I really like the character of Don. I think it was played very well. So sad. This, because he's the one, there has to be in that duo, the one that's not as convinced of everything. And that's just kind of, you know, you can tell that he relies on Teddy a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just so kind-hearted and wants to make sure that Emma Stone is not being hurt, but also wants to protect Teddy. And I knew where that was going once, you know, he was like, I'm ready to go. I was like, no, please don't do this. I know he has to because it's Yorgos.
Yeah.
There's no other way out for him.
It's got to be extreme, shocking violence.
But
yeah, I think what a lot of people who were looking for clear-cut themes and messaging, or political, messaging in this film are missing, is just how great the various different set pieces and scenes are. There's just so many good high-tension conversation, like dialogue scenes where, you know, like suspense is sort of built up and then there's sudden acts of violence. And it's really, I do believe that we're watching like a director, a true craftsman who understands, you know, how to manipulate and evoke certain emotions at the height of his powers. I think that's the real joy of this film that people might be missing because they're, you know, seeing the forest for the trees sort of thing.
Agreed. I completely agree.
Yeah, but that is Bugonia. We certainly recommend it. We will be right back to talk about our second film. All right, and we're back to talk about If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You.
Yeah, which we both know how we're going to talk about it and discuss it.
This is going to be interesting. So this is I think it's the first feature from writer-director Mary Bronstein. I don't know what else she's done. I was looking through her filmography. I didn't recognize anything. She's acted in a couple of things, I think, but this came out of nowhere. This was
good for her.
Really good.
Yeah, I was about to say, good for her. This...
But also just such a difficult watch. I don't think I can recommend this to anyone.
I was going to ask you off camera, but I guess I'll just ask you on camera. Did this send you into like a spiral, like an existential spiral? Because
it did not, but
okay,
I didn't want to show it I didn't want to recommend it to anyone because I could absolutely see that being the case.
I thought I was okay, and then I
Yeah.
was on the car ride home, and I was like, wait a minute, something's happening.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I need to go watch like Over the Hedge or something. I need to cleanse the palate, please.
I guess this is like a psychological drama, black comedy. It has little moments of comedy in it.
Yeah.
But really, it just feels like a horror film,
Yep.
like from
Anxiety
start to finish.
attack.
This is like Uncut Gems if it wasn't fun.
If it wasn't like, oh, it's Adam Sandler running around the
Yeah.
town trying to get. It's
Yeah.
like motherhood.
Yeah.
It's talking about like, what if you're a bad parent and can't take care
Existential
of your
Uncut
child?
Gems. Yeah.
And then Conan O'Brien is your therapist.
But
Scary sport.
what did you what would you rate it? What did you think of it?
I don't know. I didn't even put a rating down
Yeah.
because I was like, I guess I would go like 4,
Hmm.
but I don't know. It sounds so pretentious, cheesy, cliche, but it's like, I think this transcends ratings.
Yeah.
Because this just made me feel like such a wave of different emotions and
Yeah.
like see life in a different way where I'm like, because I'm not a mother.
Yeah.
And I don't plan to be anytime soon.
Not after watching
And
that.
and especially not after watching this, because it's literally about. I saw it in a review. If Sorry Baby is about the fears of bringing a kid into this world, this is about the fears of trying to keep it alive.
Yeah.
I think it was David Elric.
Elric?
Yeah.
NDY?
Yeah, I think it was him. But yeah, and it's just like. It's just like one long scream because you're thrown into it. You're thrown into. Never mind. I was about to.
You want to
start
wait till we get
just-
into
yeah, I
spoilers?
was about to start
I will
describing
say,
it. What did you think
my
about it?
review, I'm going to give it 5 stars. I think this is, easily one of the best films of the year. I was blown away.
Okay.
And I think a little bit, maybe I just like stewing in awful emotions a little bit more than most people. Because, I still wouldn't recommend it to anyone unless you're definitely up for it.
I would recommend it, but just make sure you're in an okay like mental spot
Yeah.
to deal with hard themes
Yes.
and existential stuff because it is a. Not all movies are supposed to make you comfortable. Sometimes a movie is supposed to make you feel.
In
weird
some
and-
ways, we'll get to the describing what this film is about, or maybe let's hop into
I was about to
spoilers.
say,
and
which
and
I was
will
gonna
do it.
It's always I always feel so bad because I'll get and then I like go and I'm like bulldoze whatever Tannock was about to say, however Tannock feels about it. Boom.
Okay, I can sum up pretty easily what this film is
Okay.
about. I think without talking
Go
about
off,
any of the
King.
plot, just here's what I think it's about. It is posing maybe it's posing a hypothetical, maybe not a hypothetical question of what would it be like to be a mother when you are entirely unqualified to be a mother, and like let's make a movie about the worst mother ever. Caveat to that, this film is absolutely about a mother sort of triumphing and doing her best. We can talk about the ending when we get to it too. But I think that that's the jumping off point from which like every decision she makes is perhaps a bad one from the perspective of looking after a child, especially when we get to the end and how like it spirals and slides. I think that's exactly what this film is. And because of that, it is capturing all of the appropriate anxieties and like the horror film of what it is like with all the pressures to try and keep be as good of a parent and a caregiver as possible.
As per usual, I'm going to defend the woman here.
Yeah, please.
And I'm going to say it's not her fault. She's going against
No.
a lot here.
Yes.
Her kid has to be tube fed for a reason that we don't ever.
I think the kid just doesn't like eating.
Okay.
I think it's sort of like taking the classic like my kid's a picky eater
Yeah.
sort of concept and pushing it to its far extreme, where because this kid has it's gotten to a point where it's a clinical issue, like the kid won't eat, so they have to have nutrients like drip fed to them through like a tube overnight to try and like make sure that they're getting nutrients to survive, to literally survive. Yeah.
Her husband is absent because he's a pilot, so he's always
Yeah.
just on the phone. I was trying to like picture who it was, and I was so mad that I didn't realize it was Christian
Christian
Slater
Slater,
until
yeah.
he showed up. I was like, of course it was Christian Slater.
Yeah.
And she has this weird relationship with her coworker / also therapist. She's a therapist, and Conan O'Brien is her therapist, but they work together. But she also wants to sleep with him. It's a whole thing. And so that's tough. She's also an alcoholic. Struggles with that as well. I think sometimes she's trying her best.
I think the whole film she's trying her best.
She's trying her best.
Absolutely.
But she's got a lot working against her.
Yes. Yeah.
And
she is forced out of her home at the very beginning of the film because their ceiling caves in with no explanation as to what caused it exactly. And they're having to live out of a hotel for the whole film. She's trying to get her kid to eat better so that they can reach this sort of this goal so that she can have the tube removed and she can go back to eating.
Reassess the level of care.
Right. No, there's all kinds of exterior things that are working against her. I mean, I talk about this as the fundamental concept of the film because it's sort of like one of those movies like, what's a good example? Psychological spiral films. I'm trying to think like...
The Surfer with
it's
Nick
usually
Cage.
like addict movies, like Train Spotting or something, where like it just keeps getting worse and worse for this person due to their addictions or their underlying depression and things.
Requiem for a Dream.
Exactly.
All of those.
But in this case, the stakes are so much higher because it's not just your own life that that is sort of unraveling. It's the most important person in your life whose life is at threat because of it as well.
And it does a great thing where you do not see the kid. You only hear her daughter. You do not see her face until the very end of the film. But she is just this like peripheral, kind of annoying, no tea, no hate, no shade to the child, like constant voice of like, I need this, I don't want this. And so you don't actually ever see her as a physical presence until...
No, I think I definitely agree with what you were saying in defending her with,
she's trying so hard.
She is.
She's trying
but
really hard.
At the same time, I mean, and it's because we're in her, we're strictly in her point of view for the whole film. We're inclined to empathize with her and be on her side for a lot of things. But we have to also recognize that there's so many moments where she is being told like what the best option is or what she needs to do by nurses or by her therapist. And she consistently chooses the wrong thing. And we understand why, because of the anxieties and the pressures and things. She leaves her child in a hotel by herself, or she goes back to her apartment to get stoned. She is constantly drinking every night.
What is that, a crime? Was this a crime to be a little bit of a questionable mom?
These are things she's in control of. We understand why she's making those decisions because these are coping mechanisms for her with all of the anxieties and the depression that she feels herself, and the unconflicted feeling she feels towards her child. But ultimately, at the end of the day, that's the draw of this film. That's what makes it, I think, so special in the fact that it doesn't hold back on any of that. It doesn't try to address, because there is a different version of this film, I think, where it's all of the external factors the only things contributing to this. And we empathize with her, and it's a satire or an absurd black comedy of, damn, everything's going wrong for this lady, she can't catch a break. But I think the real tightrope that this film walks is that it balances that along with her own sort of unhinged decision-making and her unraveling, which I think is really cool.
Agreed. You're like, if I was her, I just wouldn't have bought the wine. Wouldn't have talked to A$AP Rocky's character, and I would have just done better.
It's very easy to say what you would or wouldn't do when you're not when you're not in that situation, right?
Yes.
That's the beauty of movies. I mean, what is it? Roger Ebert said that movies are empathy machines.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this film is operating. That's why it's a 5-star movie in my mind.
I agreed. It's the movies are the closest you can get to truly seeing things through another person's viewpoint. How you and I see each other, seeing through the eyes of another human being.
Yeah. And especially absurdist cinema and surreal cinema like this, it captures that feeling so much more than if you just showed like a stressed mother in normal situations.
Yeah.
Like, because of how extreme this is and because of how weird everything and strange and everything's happening at once,
How it keeps piling up, and
there's something more honest about it. There's an extra element of veracity to it, even if it's not, realistic, as we'd say.
So I like the ending a lot, where everything comes crashing down. The husband comes back. The hole gets fixed. She pulls the feeding tube out of her daughter's stomach. ASAP Rocky is there doing stuff. I don't know what ASAP Rocky's doing, but he was good.
He was great.
I like ASAP Rocky.
I thought all
think
the
he's good.
performances in this were incredible.
Agreed. She just has her final moment of break. She goes to the water and she throws herself in the waves, and they just keep crashing. And then you finally see the daughter's face. But I did like that, where it's like finally we're getting a nature representation of like what's been happening to her this whole movie.
Yeah.
Wave after wave crashing against her. She's drowning. She gets little moments of, I can drink my wine, or blah, blah, blah. And then
that scene can be read a couple of different ways too, I think. It could be an attempt to sort of end things.
Oh, well, 100%.
That is, and then of course in the like cosmic irony of this movie, the waves push her out and reject. She can't even do that. She can't even like make it end. But it can also be exactly what you're saying. This is a representation of she is fighting against forces of nature that like she has no hope of defeating. And
finally her moment of what is going to pull me through this, and it's her daughter.
Well, and that's the thing. Do you believe her at the end of the film when she says, I'm going to get better, I can do better? That's a brilliant way to end the film as well. It's her like looking at her daughter's face the first time we've seen it and saying, I can do better, I'll do better.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think that's probably
why it's so great.
That's probably what sent me into the spiral. You're like, that's why this is about, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sweating. I'm like, yeah.
Like, can people just change when they have an epiphany moment like that, or do we believe? It's brilliant. I love that it's just a question and it doesn't have to answer it.
People always talk about it's the rock bottom that's going to turn people around. Not always.
No.
It's rock bottom does not always turn people around.
That's exactly right.
But yeah, I do like that, and I believe maybe she could.
Yeah,
there's a chance
I believe so too.
But there is it's up to her.
Yeah.
There's a chance that she, people can change.
I love what you're talking about with there's a lot of imagery of holes. There is a massive hole that opens up in their ceiling. There is the hole in her daughter's stomach, which even at one point at literal dialogue, like Christian Slater and her get confused over which hole they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I mean, that sort of imagery is also like a fundamental part of femininity and the birth of children and motherhood. But it can also be, an emptiness in the heart or the soul. And I think that like perfectly sums up like what this particular character is experiencing in the form of both motherhood and this like emptiness that she just can't figure out how to fill. And she can't, at one point, I think there's so many great little lines of dialogue that speak to the themes of the film, but there's another point where she like shrugs off the suggestion of, put your oxygen mask on before you put your child's oxygen mask on. Like, sort your own life out so that you can.
She's like, yeah, put my oxygen mask on.
Yeah, but it's exactly true. It's like she can't sort herself out, or she can't find the fulfillment or the guidance or the the moral decision making that she needs to save her daughter. And so she ends up making these, especially towards the end of the film, those awful decisions like pulling the tube out, and that heartbreaking conversation where she tells her daughter, like, what if we just stop going to the hospital
just do it
and the
ourselves.
doctors? We'll just do it ourselves, and just spiraling.
Giving her false hope.
And it's heartbreaking. Yeah, at the end, like even at the end of that scene, even her daughter has the sort of better sort of hold of reality or a sense of reality to say, like, I'm not getting better. I'm not better. That won't, like, even she recognizes it's a desperate fantasy. Yeah.
And then there's the hamster scene, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
The daughter at one point begs to get a hamster, and Rose Byrne's like, no, it's just another thing to take care of that you're not going to want to take care of. It's a rodent. And then finally she's like, to get her to eat or do something, she's like, well, look at hamsters.
Yeah.
So they do get a hamster, and the hamster is evil.
It's so funny.
Evil. It's like this little,
So
it's like
good.
an animatronic, like a
It's
puppet.
a puppet or something.
And it's just screeching and the daughter is scared of it. She's like, we got a bad hamster. I don't like my hamster. And the mom's like, and Rosemary's like, just give it to me. And it bites her. It keeps biting her while
they're
she's driving.
Yeah,
This is all happening.
it escapes and gets free in the car.
And you see it. They get rear-ended
Yeah.
while they're trying to sort it out.
Yeah.
And then the hamster jumps out of it because the guy's like, what is that? And the hamster jumps out and runs into traffic and gets flattened by a car. And like you see it and it goes, and it's just red.
There are moments of truly brilliant black comedy throughout this, but
And I think I read that as, you can have this hope that you're going to bring something to the world to take care of, and then it can just die.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
quick as
that's right.
that, it can just, it's there 1 second and then it's gone, and you
Yeah.
will never ever see it again.
yeah.
And I think that I read it as like, that's like a mom's biggest fear of just like my child dying.
Yeah. And it's another thing too, and we already sort of mentioned this, but so infuriating. This is also part of the black comedy aspect, but so frustrating to see how unhelpful so many of the men in her life are. Specifically, the husband who is entirely absent, but just, asking for
criticizing her?
so much from her at every opportunity. Just having no understanding of what she's going through. And likewise with Conan O'Brien's character, who like
I love him. I love Conan O'Brien.
he is also a very frustrating character in a way, because at times he feels like he's got sage advice to give, and
he's
and then at
entertaining
others-
this unhealthy relationship. Sorry, what were you saying? I
No,
thought
no,
I
no,
cut
you
off.
go on. I was about to say that.
He's entertaining this unhealthy. She'll say she's like, I had a dream about you where you were tickling me and blah, blah, blah. And you could see where he's like, I should cut this off, but he entertains it because he's not a good person. And none of the men in her life are rooting for her to succeed.
Yeah.
And
he
he
has no guidance to give her. That big scene in the middle where she's screaming at him, asking for like
me what to
direction
do.
or help. And he just gives her complete silence and then says, we need to stop. I can't be your therapist anymore.
He's
or
like,
something.
I know what you're doing. Why didn't we say that the first time? Like, then why did you continue to this point?
Yeah.
One of her patients leaves their baby with
Yeah.
her and abandons their child.
Sort of.
I've abandoned my child.
Sort of after like the questionable advice she gives. It's tough. I don't know if it's good or bad advice. What
You're
she
like,
gives.
if I was her therapist, the person wouldn't have left their baby.
I don't know if it's good or bad advice, but it's clearly bad advice to give to this particular person who takes that as a sign to just, basically walk out on her therapist appointment. She says she has to go to the bathroom or something, and then she just goes missing for like a week or a couple of days or something.
And she goes to
And
Conan
leaves the baby there at the therapist office. Yeah.
and she goes to Conan to be like, help me, this isn't right. And he's like, I'm in a session. I can't do this with you right now. And it's like,
Again, brilliant black comedy stuff that is sort of just hard to watch if you're not like able to get over the uncomfortability of what you're watching. Yeah.
anyway,
it's
go
brilliant.
see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, go see it.
Yeah, this is a huge highlight for me. This will definitely be in my top 5 list at the end of the year, I think.
I will never watch it again. Say that.
Yeah, I don't know if I will either. I certainly wouldn't. I'm not going to recommend this to anyone.
Anybody
But
that's
I'm
in a
so
fragile,
glad I saw it.
me too. Anybody that's in a fragile mental state, just be aware.
I really hope that Rose Byrne is in discussion or nominated
Roseburne's so good.
when the Oscars come around, because this is the best performance of the year, in my opinion. She should win. If we were to cut the year off here, and this was the no more films left to come out, I would say she deserves Best Actress for this. This is an all-timer in my mind. So,
Nice.
yeah, all right. That'll do it for this episode of Real Talk. I'm not sure what we're reviewing next week, but we'll find out when we get there.
We'll just talk about Bruce Springsteen again. You'll see it by then, right?
I will. I probably will have. So maybe I can give my thoughts then. We'll see. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next week.